Hi, it's Sunday the 22nd of April. This is day 26. It's just over mile 300. I think it's 300.3 or something like that. I don't know if you can hear that, but well, I'm actually in my tent at the moment. I've been trying to do a video for about the last 3 days, but it's pretty much been constantly raining. After being blessed with amazing weather for about the first 2.5 weeks, it's finally started raining. In fact, that's not actually rain, it's hail. We had temperatures of about 20-25 degrees, I suppose, for the first 2.5 weeks. Everybody was walking in shorts and t-shirts. It was really warm, a little bit cooler at night, but we reached a town called Hot Springs about 2 days ago, where we took a zero. Zero is basically a day where you don't do any walking. Stayed there for a day, resupplied, did the usual tasks in town, that sort of thing. And we left yesterday about midday. Yesterday was Saturday, today's Sunday. And there was news, or the weather report was saying it was going to rain, and it was going to rain hard. We left about midday and it was blue skies, and about 2 hours in it started raining. It's a bit cramped in here, sorry. So I've been trying to do a video, but because it's been raining I haven't managed to do it, but I figured the only way of doing it is actually do it in my tent, because it's about the only place that's actually dry at the moment. That's my trousers and other bits and pieces hanging up to dry. But it's not so much the rain that's the problem, it's just because we're not that high up. We're about anything from sort of 4,000 to 6,000 feet, which isn't a huge elevation, but I mean, things cool down up here. But the problem is we're in the clouds most of the time, so although the rain, you get damp when you're walking because of the rain. Once you settle down in the evening in the tent, we're kind of in the cloud and you just get this really fine mist. And my tent round the bottom is made of mesh. I don't know if I can show you or not, but you can kind of see that's the opening there, and all this is just mesh. And the theory is the water runs down the side of this mesh and underneath this ground sheet here, which is working fine. But the problem is the cloud and the mist, or whatever you want to call it, actually gets through this mesh. So everything is just constantly damp. You know, you wake up in the morning, everything's really clammy to the touch. I mean, it's warm enough. I got in here about a couple of hours ago, nipped into the shelter where there's a fire going. You might be able to hear voices in the background. I'll see if I can show you the shelter in a minute. I'm not going to get out because I'm going to get wet, but I should be able to stick the camera under the tent. Now the shelters hold anything from 6 to maybe 15 people, and they're essentially just 3 sided wooden structures with a roof. If you're inside, they're fantastic, you're out of the rain, but they fill up really, really quickly, especially when it's raining. I mean, I got here at 3 o'clock and the place was already absolutely chock-a-block. I went in and warmed up quickly, then put my tent up. I don't know if I can give you a quick look around the tent actually, but I'm in my sleeping bag, so it's the only way I can keep warm. That's all my stuff there. Let's see if I can show you the shelter quickly. That's the shelter up there. I think there's about 8 people in there at the moment. It's a bit of a rarity, that one, because it has actually got a chimney, and there's a fire going in there. Someone over there hanging their bare feet up, I don't know who that is. Apart from that, everything's alright. I've been averaging, I suppose, about 15 miles a day, which is what I expected to do. And thankfully I haven't got any blisters, I think, because the intention was to start slowly, walk slowly, and only do about 10 to 15 mile days for the first 3 weeks, which is pretty much what I've done. Thankfully, for the first time ever, apart from one tiny blister on the end of one toe, everything's really good. Feet are in good shape, legs are in good shape. I've had a couple of afternoons where I've upped the pace a little bit and had a few tweaks and twangs in the legs, so I've slowed down a bit, but it's not easy. I mean, I think I've got lulled into a bit of a false sense of security because, you know, having done the PCT a couple of years ago, I thought this would be easy, and it's not. The AT, instead of sort of winding its way round hills, it basically just takes a direct route straight up and over the top. So physically it's pretty demanding, and obviously when it's raining and it's cold, everything sort of slows down a bit, the mileage drops. And I was averaging about 3 miles an hour on the PCT, but out here you're lucky to get 2.5 just because of the hills. And even when you're going downhill, because there's a steep, you can't really pick your speed up. You've got to sort of tread carefully, especially when it's wet, because it's slippery. I think we've got 40 miles to a town. I can't remember what it's called. I think it might be Irwin, but I think I've got that completely wrong. But I'm going to get dried out there. So we walk for about 3 days, which is handy for the resupply, because you only need to carry about 3 days' food as opposed to 6, which is what I was used to. So it keeps the weight down. But no, it's not easy. I mean, it's enjoyable. It'd be nice if the weather was a bit better. I think this is due to finish tomorrow, I think, and then everybody's hoping things are going to brighten up a bit, but I'll get into a hostel in a couple of days, dry out, and then carry on again. But everything's good. Hopefully get another update in about a couple of weeks' time. But for now, I'm going to sign off, do my diary, try and get some sleep, and get wet tomorrow again.